Hi guys, the Tai Chi Twins here. Joshua Rorty, Jeremy Rorty with Rising Phoenix Martial Arts. We're coming at you from the Jacksonville Forest Park with our beginner's Tai Chi video. So I want to start off talking a little bit about what Tai Chi is, a little bit of a history lesson. A long time ago, there was a man that they referred to as the Bodhidharma. There is various writings throughout Asia of this man from India who walked all the way through China, all the way to the southern tip of Thailand, and he would share philosophy as well as a variety of different martial art techniques. One of the villages he stopped at was the Chen family village. They had already practiced a martial art form that they called cannon fist. It was a very explosive martial art, also very hard on their body. So what he taught them was a moving form of yoga to help heal the body and teach them how to relax. They took those relaxation techniques and applied it to their cannon fist form to create the original form of Tai Chi, Chen style. The form that we teach is a simplified 54 movement Yang style form. But you'll see with Josh and I, when we do the form, we're doing the same form, but there's subtle little differences in there, like just the way we do our transitions. Kind of the way I see it is if you take 5 artists and you put them in the same room with the same bowl of fruit, they're going to make that painting a little bit different. You'll see the subtle differences in that painting. So that's what you need to do. We're going to be giving you all these tools on how to make the form happen. So now it's going to be up to you to take that form and make it your own art. And in order to be able to better paint the fruit, we want to help you understand the fruit. We will be presenting you a series of power stretches, exercises, drills, and even martial applications to help you come to a deeper understanding of the movements that we're making in the form. It can be difficult to learn from a video, so we do encourage you, contact us, dojo2u.com. You can schedule a lesson in person, join one of our group lessons, or even schedule a lesson online. I want to make sure that you do know, if you're working patiently through all these videos and you get to the point where you're comfortable with all the exercises, you're comfortable with the entire beginner form, you should build the skills that you can easily move on to the intermediate series of videos. We really enjoyed making these videos. We hope that you enjoy watching them. Thank you. Bye guys.
Power stretches were brought to us in a very rare opportunity to study from a grandmaster from China named Ya Xiaolong. He was a spry 70-year-old man who demonstrated for us his ability to do the splits all the way flat to the floor and then spring to his feet without using his hands. He swore by his power stretches to give him the strength and flexibility to accomplish such amazing feat. Ya Xiaolong described it as an eagle's talon. There's little muscle in the eagle's talon. All its strength lies in its tendons. Power stretching is unique because instead of focusing on stretching the muscles, the focus of power stretching is on the ligaments and the tendons that support the muscles. When these connective tissues are stretched in the right way, the muscles will be stretched along with them. This creates a combination of both strength and flexibility. Power stretches are typically done from a standing position and take no more space than the span of your arms. This means they can be done anywhere, from the base of this waterfall to the space of your cubicle or living room. They can even be adapted to be done while sitting in a chair. Now we'll begin by exploring the most important part of our power stretches, the posture. In order to feel these stretches, you need the right posture. The secret of Tai Chi's posture lies in the spine. This is normal posture, back straight, head up. This gives a natural S-curve to the spine. Tai Chi's posture is different in that we're trying to achieve a forward C-curve. With the normal posture, the curve in the neck and the curve in the lower back oppose the curve in the middle of the spine. To achieve the forward C-curve, tilt the hips forward and up. This will lengthen the lower lumbar and align it with the thoracic. Next, tilt the chin down and lift your head up as though it were an ornament hanging from a Christmas tree. This lengthens the upper cervical and aligns it with the thoracic. The forward C-curve gives the spine an alignment similar to that of a bow. As you pull the string, the power is distributed evenly along the body of the bow. By adapting this posture, power can be transferred from the legs to the arms, or power can be redirected from the arms down to the strength of the legs. This is where Tai Chi gains its power. To achieve the forward C-curve, step to the side with one foot about shoulder width. Bend the knees, tilt the hips forward. The shoulders should be rounded down and forward. Tilt the chin down and lift the head up. Focus on a slight stretch extending from the top to the bottom of the spine. Now that we understand the posture, let's start exploring our power stretches. These stretches can be done in any order, but to make it easy to remember, we'll start from the legs and work up from there. Step to the side with one foot, about 1.5 to double shoulder width apart. Point the feet forward, bend the knees, pull the legs to the outside while tilting the hips forward. This will open the hips and help form the lower part of the C-curve. This stretch will originate from the inside of the hip and extend out to the knee. As the stretch is held, try to relax the muscles that feel tense. To help with this, breathe deep and slow, in through the nose and out through the mouth. As the stretch relaxes, try to push deeper into the stretch, being mindful of the muscles and joints to avoid injury. This stretch should feel like a good pain, not a bad pain. When you're done, return the feet to a neutral position. Starting with the feet together and the back straight, bend forward at the waist, focusing on touching the abdomen to the legs. Looking forward will help with the balance as well as help keep the back straight. If the back curls or the legs bend, tension will be lost on the stretch, so focus on keeping them straight. This stretch will originate at the base of the hip and extend down the back of the leg. Remember to breathe and relax as you hold the stretch. When you're done, bend the knees and tuck the hips under to stand up. Return your feet to a neutral position. Stand with the feet together and lock the hands on the forehead to help align the head with the shoulders. While keeping the hips facing forward, turn the shoulders to the left and try to look all the way around to the right heel. The stretch will originate above the left hip and extend diagonally across the back to the right elbow. Keep the back straight while you change directions. This time, turn the shoulders to the right and try to look all the way around to the left heel. Focus on turning the shoulders to the right and the hips to the left. The stretch will originate from above the right hip and extend diagonally across to the back of the left elbow. Focus on turning the shoulders to the left and the hips to the right. Keep the knees straight. If they bend too much, tension will be lost in the stretch. Remember to breathe and relax as you hold the stretch. Continue alternating sides till your back feels nice and loose and warmed up. When you're done, return your spine to a neutral position. Relax the hands to the side. Stand with the feet shoulder width apart, knees bent, and hips tilted forward. Start with the hands at the level of the waist, and then push down and forward to the corners of the floor. When the palms are open and the fingers are stretched outward, the stretch will go from the armpit all the way out to the fingertips. Remember to breathe and relax as you hold the stretch. To increase the stretch, turn the palms forward and pull the fingers back to make a 90-degree bend in the wrist. As the heels of the palms are pressed away, this will start to draw the hands together in front. At a certain point, the stretch will relax. Rotate the fingers to the inside until they point together. This will change the position of the tendons and re-engage the stretch. Breathe in through the nose as the hands press away and draw to the side. Breathe out through the mouth as the hands press away and draw back to the front. Continue to repeat the stretch, keeping the hands in the same level plane. Don't let them rise or fall. Just like an eagle spreads its wings, keep the hands in front of the shoulders. When you're done, relax your arms to the side in a neutral position. Stand with your feet shoulder width apart, knees bent, hips tilted forward. Press the right hand forward while making an L with the first finger and the thumb. The left hand makes a fist like grasping a bowstring. Press the hands above the head and draw them in opposite directions, extending the right arm straight and the left elbow bent. To increase the stretch, turn the nose to point to the bent elbow. The shoulders should still be rounded down and forward, rounding the back of the shoulders. The stretch will originate at the spine and extend out to the tips of the L and the elbow. Remember to breathe and relax as you hold the stretch. Press the left hand forward while making an L with the first finger and thumb. The right hand makes a fist like it's grasping a bow. Press the hands above the head and draw them to opposite directions, extending the left arm straight and the right elbow bent. To increase the stretch, turn the nose to point to the bent elbow. The shoulders should still be rounded down and forward, rounding the back of the shoulders. Focus on the 90-degree bend in the wrist, the open L position in the fingers, and the rounded back of the shoulders. Remember to breathe and relax as you hold the stretch. When you're done, relax the arms to the side in a neutral position. Stand with your feet shoulder width apart, knees bent, hips tilted forward. With your neck in a neutral position, press your chin down to the chest, stretching all the muscles in the back of the neck down to the shoulders. Breathe and relax into the stretch. Return the neck to a neutral position, then press the chin up to the sky, stretching all the muscles in the front of the neck. Breathe and relax into the stretch. Return the neck to a neutral position, then turn the head to look right, stretching the muscles along the spine. Return the neck to a neutral position, then turn the head to look left. Breathe and relax into the stretch. Return the neck to a neutral position, then press the left ear to the left shoulder, stretching all the muscles on the right side of the neck. Slowly rotate the neck down, chin to the chest, then rotate the right ear to the right shoulder, stretching all the muscles on the left side of the neck. While continuing the deep breathing, repeat this movement until the neck feels nice and loose and warmed up. When you're done, return the neck to a neutral position. Stand with the feet shoulder-width apart, knees bent, hips tilted forward. The shoulders should be relaxed down and forward, and the head should be lifted. Focus on that forward C curve. Hold the hands at the dantian about an inch below the belly button so you can feel the abdomen move. Breathe in through the nose, deep and slow, all the way down to the belly button, pressing it forward. Exhale through the mouth, deep and slow, pushing the belly button back to the spine. When you inhale and the abdomen expands, the muscles in your stomach, diaphragm, and rib cage are being stretched. As you exhale and the abdomen contracts, the stomach muscles massage the internal organs, increasing their longevity. Breathe in through the nose, fill every inch of the lungs. Exhale through the mouth, empty every inch of air out of the lungs. Breathing in through the nose filters and warms the air as it enters the lungs. Throughout this section of the video, I'll be doing a total of 10 deep breaths. As you breathe, focus on the length of each breath. Make sure the inhale and the exhale last the same amount of time. Counting the time of the breath helps determine how deep the breath is. A good goal is to do 10 breaths with a count of 10 seconds in and 10 seconds out. Take your time as you do that and pace yourself. If you breathe in or out too fast, you'll never make it. This is similar to doing push-ups for your lungs. Focus on keeping the knees bent and the hips tilted forward. If the knees lock out, circulation can pool up in the legs, which can cause you to faint. Breathing in through the nose filters and warms the air as it enters the lungs.
The outside circle is going to create a pressing motion. Let's start with the right side. My right foot, I'm going to move back so I can turn my body to face the right as well as being able to face the front. The right hand is going to start in the center of the chest. I'll put the left hand on the hip so it can just relax there. Pressing the right hand to the right, I'm going to turn my hips and shoulders to the right. Drawing the right hand back to my belly button, I'm going to turn my hips and shoulders to the left. I'm going to exhale through the mouth as my body weight shifts over to the right leg, and inhale through the nose as my body weight shifts over to the left leg. Press and exhale. Inhale and draw back. Out through the mouth, in through the nose. Let's change to the left side. So I'm going to bring the feet back to parallel. This time I'm going to move the left leg back so I can turn to face the left as well as being able to face the front. Right hand will be on the hip, left hand will start at the chest. I'm going to exhale and press to the left. Inhale, draw the hand back. As I press to the left, the hips and shoulders turn to the left. As I draw back, the hips and shoulders turn to the right. Exhale, body weight shifts to the left leg. Inhale, body weight shifts to the right leg. And then as the hand draws back, I'll bring the feet back and come back to a neutral position. The next exercise is called scooping water. It's going to involve both hands doing the outside circle. The feet this time are going to utilize the horse stance. So the horse stance typically is feet shoulder width apart. If you're getting stronger and more flexible, you can move your feet further apart. You can move your stance deeper and higher. But in the beginning, we're just going to start feet shoulder width apart. Both hands are going to start at the shoulder level. I'm going to inhale and scoop down like I'm reaching into a pool of water. And then I'm going to exhale and I'm going to lift that water up over me and let it wash down my face. Breathing in through the nose, I tuck the hips under. Out through the mouth, the hips will tilt back, keeping the back straight as we go down. Bring the feet back together and the hands can go on the hips or relax to the side. The last outside circle exercise is a movement out of the forearm referred to as cloud's hands. This is the brain teaser of the outside circles. This one we're also using the horse stance, so I'm going to have the feet about shoulder width apart, maybe a little bit further. I'm going to start with the right hand on top, the left hand's going to be on bottom. Starting the exercise turning to the right. My hips and shoulders turn right, my hands reach to the right. When they get there, the hands are going to change places, and then I reach to the left. The hips and shoulders turn me to the left. As I move to the right, the weight changes over to the right leg. As I move to the left, the weight changes over to the left leg. Because we're doing both sides, you can breathe however you want. The way I'm going to breathe, because I'm right-handed, I'm going to exhale as I reach to the right. I'm going to inhale as I reach to the left. Issuing power as I exhale, gathering power as I inhale.
Draw the feet together, relax the hands at the side or under the belly button. The number one reason that most people come to Tai Chi is to improve their balance, fall prevention, which, if you ask me, they're two parts of the same thing. If you can control your balance under extreme circumstances, you can catch your balance if you lose it, which we all eventually will. So first thing I want to bring out is, if you're one of the people that are coming to Tai Chi to help improve your balance because you feel like you have an issue with your balance, go grab a chair and set it out next to you right now. It's going to give you a little bit of security and some stability. So if you lose your balance, you can just really easily reach down and grab a hold of it. Try not to use it, but have it there if it makes you feel more comfortable. So a couple important points I want to go over as far as the balance is concerned. We're going to get into these more specifically, but the first thing is the foot that I'm standing on, we want to have at a 45-degree angle. That's going to give us stability in all directions. Moving from the foot, I want to talk about the knees. The knees always have to stay bent. If they're straight, the muscles relax, and then they can't do what they're supposed to. If they're bent, it's going to make the muscles work a little bit more, but that's the important thing. The muscles will be working. They're going to do what they're supposed to and help hold up your balance. I also want to talk about the hips. I'm going to turn to the side here. As I stand here normally, I've got a curve to my lower lumbar. My butt kind of sticks out in the back a little bit. What I want to do is tuck my hips under and get my butt underneath me. Now, if you see my knee, when I do that, it automatically bends my knee for me as soon as I tuck that hip. So these are the positions you always want to think about. Is my foot at a 45-degree angle? Is my knee bent? Is my hips tucked under? Above that, I also want to talk about the head. Our instructor talked about Christmas tree ornament. If you were a Christmas tree ornament, where would you dangle from? Your head wouldn't go forward or backwards. Your head would always stay up regardless of how that Christmas tree ornament moved, right? So if you keep your chin tucked down, that's going to lift your neck and keep your head right above your shoulders. If I turn to the side and I lean that head forward, average head weighs about 10 pounds. That means mine probably weighs about 8. But that's still 8 pounds pulling me this direction or pulling me that direction if that's where my head's going. But if my hips are tucked under to make my knee bent, my chin is tucked in to keep my head above me, I can hold my balance relatively easy from that position. So let's try a couple of balancing exercises. We're going to start off with the right side. If you're right-handed, this is probably going to be the easy side for you to balance on. The way I'm standing right now in a neutral position, my toes are pointing straight forward. Problem is, if my toes are pointing straight forward and I'm standing on one foot, I don't have any stability side to side. If I turn my foot too far, I don't have any stability forward and back. So what I'm looking for is a 45-degree angle. That's going to give me stability in all directions. So I'm going to start with my right foot. I'm going to turn the toes to face towards the corner of the room. From there, my left foot is going to push my center. That's where my buttons are, to the middle of my right leg. Once I feel that weight leave that left leg, I'm going to bring it in front of me into what I call a cat stance. I think cat stance, there's a cat in front of me, I'm putting my foot on its tail, but I don't want it to scream, so it's very light pressure. My hands can be on my hips, my hands can be right here in the middle, or if I have an issue with balance, I can put my hands out to the side. If you really have an issue with balance, bring a chair up next to you so you can catch it if you lose your balance. To begin, I'm going to change my cat stance, and I'm just going to pick up my toes and let my foot hover above the ground. If I lose my balance, all I have to do is put my toes down, and I can catch myself. If that's not enough of a challenge, feel free to pick up the knee and try to get it to the level of the belt. That's really going to start challenging your balance muscles. If that's not hard enough, take your foot, put it out in front of you. That's really going to be a big challenge on your balance muscles. If this is what you're doing, make sure, draw the knee back, and then set the foot down slowly, never losing control of our balance till we come back to our cat stance. From there, I'm going to bring the left foot in, bring it back to a neutral position, and turn my right foot back to face forward. Let's try that on the left side. So the left foot's going to turn to that 45-degree angle. Right foot is going to push me over to the left foot. Then it's going to come out to the cat stance. I'm going to start lifting the toes. Again, if that's not enough of a challenge, lift the knee. Try to get it up to the level of your belt. If that's not enough of a challenge, point the toe out. That's going to be the biggest challenge of this balancing exercise. When you're done, make sure you come back to bending that knee and slowly setting down the foot. Again, you never want to lose your balance. Once you're there, bring the foot back and come to a neutral position with the feet shoulder width apart. So that is with the foot going forward. Let's try this same thing with the foot going to the side. Switching back to the right leg. So the right foot's going to point to the 45-degree angle. Left foot pushes me over to the right, comes into the cat stance. Now I'm going to pick up the toe and I'm going to move the foot out to the side of me. You'll notice my body weight has to shift. You don't want to lean. That's going to make you fall. You always want to keep your head lined up over the foot you're standing on. If that's not enough of a challenge, you could try to pick up your knee and try to challenge with your knee out to the side. If that's not enough of a challenge, you could put that foot out there straight. Notice I had to lean a little bit more, but my head stays up. When you're done, make sure, bend the knee first, slowly set down the foot, keeping control of the balance, so you can very gracefully change sides. Moving the left foot to face that 45-degree angle. Right foot pushing me to balance over the left foot. Coming to the cat stance, picking up the toes, putting the foot out to the side. Again, if that's not hard enough, bend the knee and lift it up out to the side. If that's not hard enough, point the toes and put the foot all the way out to the side. Again, if that's what you're doing, make sure when you're done, bring the knee back and slowly set down the foot back to where it started from, keeping control of your balance. Then move back to a neutral position. From there, you can also balance by putting your foot to the back. Changing back to the right side. So I'm going to turn the right foot to a 45-degree angle. Left foot's pushing me. I come into my cat stance. Now when I pick up my toe, I'm going to put my foot behind the leg I'm standing on. If that's easy, I can lift my knee and get my foot up to about belt level. Either way, when I'm done, I'm going to bring the foot back to the front. I'm going to gently set it down into a cat stance so I can reset and change sides. So now I'm going to change to the left side. The left foot turns to the 45-degree angle. I change my weight over to the leg, move to the cat stance. When I'm comfortable, I'll lift the toe and then push the foot behind my other leg. Again, if that's not enough of a challenge, try lifting that foot behind you. That's going to challenge your balance muscles. When you're done, make sure, bring the knee back in front of you to that cat stance so that we can switch our weight back to a neutral position. So those are the main three areas that your body is challenged in balance. You might fall forward, you might fall backwards, you might fall sideways. You can also transfer between those balance points. Let's move back to the right foot. So my right foot's going to turn to that 45-degree angle. Left foot pushing me over to find that cat stance. This time, I'm going to pick up the toe. I'm going to lift the knee. I'm going to put the knee out to the side. I'm going to put the knee to the back. I'm going to bring the knee back out to the side and then to the front. And then you can set that toe back down and bring it in to a neutral stance. To change feet over on the left leg, turning it to that 45-degree angle. Coming into the cat stance, gaining control of your balance before you lift the toe. Lift the knee to the front. Lift the knee to the side. Lift the knee to the back. Lift the knee to the side. Back to the front. And then set the toe down and come back to a neutral position. Now, if you're being challenged on your balance, you can certainly hover the foot down closer to the ground as you move to those three positions. Anytime you lose your balance, just put your toe down, catch yourself. Repeat that exercise over and over until it's comfortable. Then you can start lifting the foot higher. If you can get the knee higher, you can get the foot out in front of you. I'll give you a demonstration of that. Gonna switch back to the right leg. Follow along if you can. Right foot changes to the 45-degree angle. I'm gonna come to the cat stance. I'm gonna lift the knee. I'm gonna put the foot out in front of me, bring it back. I'm then gonna move to the side. Bring it back. I'm then gonna move to the back. Then I'm gonna bring it back, go to the side, bring it back, go to the front. If you lose your balance, set your toe down, catch yourself. You don't have to fall. From your cat stance, reset yourself to a neutral position. Let's try that on the left leg. Let's find out what's our best balance leg. Left foot turns to that 45-degree angle. Body weight's going to shift to balance on that leg and come into that cat stance. Toes come up, knee comes up, foot in front, then back, going to the side, out and back, going behind, out and back, going to the side, out and back, going to the front, out and back, and then back to a cat stance. Bring yourself back to a neutral position. There's one level that's a little bit more challenging than that. Let's see if you can follow along with this one. This time, I'm not going to bend my leg. I'm going to keep my knee straight the whole time. Switching to the right leg. Right foot turns to that 45-degree angle. Body weight shifts so I can come into that cat stance. I'm going to lift up the knee. Foot goes out in front. It's going to stay straight as it moves to the side. It stays straight as it moves to the back. Stays straight as it moves to the side. And then back to the front. And then back to the cat stance. Let's try that on the left side. Come into a neutral position. Turning that left foot to that 45-degree angle. Changing my weight to come to the cat stance. Knee comes up. Leg goes straight. Side. Back. Side. Front. If you have a chair, you can catch it. You can put your toe down anytime you want. At the end, we want to make sure we come to a good cat stance so we can return to our neutral position. And then you can relax your hands to the side or put them on your hips. Let's explore commencement of Tai Chi. I'm going to mirror it so that you can follow me from the front and see what my hands are doing. Our starting position, our feet are going to be neutral, right about shoulder width apart, both feet pointing forward. My hands are going to relax at the side with the thumbs pointing towards me. What you'll notice is that's going to point my elbows to the outside as well as put a little bit of air underneath my armpit. The bent elbow and the air under the armpit are two very important positions for Tai Chi. Once I'm in my ready position, I'm going to transition my weight over onto my left leg so I can pick up my right foot and then move it out into a horse stance. Here you're going to see the first example of what we call the marionette. The knees and the elbows are going to move similar. The knees bend and the elbows are going to bend, bringing the hands up to the shoulder. The knees straighten and the elbows are going to straighten, pushing my hands out in front of me. From there, I'm going to make a circle. I'm going to start going to the left. I'm going to drop my weight down, shift my weight to the right. Once I complete the circle at the top, the right hand stays. The left hand is going to scoop under. Now, here's that marionette again. When the left hand passes the left foot's going to draw into a cat stance. This is going to help me transition into my next movement. Let's take a look at what commencement of Tai Chi does. This is if somebody's trying to reach at you. Maybe they've already got a hold of your neck, but it's better to get them before they grab a hold of you. As he's reaching towards me, I'm going to change my weight down and push his hands up at the same time, meeting him halfway. That's going to bring him close, and I'm going to use my fingertips. Once I push his hands out of the way, I stand up, and I'm going to push 2 fingers. I'm aiming for the spot on the bottom of the throat, right where the clavicle comes together. That's going to push him away from me. So he reaches at me, I stop him, I push him away, then I'm going to do a circle and I'm going to clear his arms out of the way so he can't hit me, and I open up some prime real estate to hit on him. Let's explore grass bird's tail left. We ended commencement of Tai Chi in a left cat stance. That was the left foot forward, the toes barely touching the ground. My left hand was at the bottom of the beach ball. My right hand was at the top of the beach ball. This is a very common ready position in the Tai Chi form. From here, I'm going to be moving my left foot. So I'm going to pick the left toes up and I'm going to reach out with my heel. When my heel reaches the ground, I'm going to transition my weight onto the toe. Here's that marionette. A lot of Tai Chi, the leg and the hand follow each other. So from my ready position, as I commit my weight from the heel and transfer it to the toe, my left hand is going to reach up. My right hand is going to press down. Let's take a look at what grass bird's tail left does. In this case, he's going to be punching at me with his right hand. Now, there's 2 ways I can interact with this punch. That's not one of them. First of all, I don't want to try to catch his punch like you see in the movies. All of his power is trying to come to here, and I don't want to fight power for power. I instead want to send his power in another direction. So one application of grass bird's tail left is I meet his power and I push it off to the side. You'll notice when I do that, I get all kinds of really nice areas I can strike to. There's another way as well. You'll notice as I'm standing and waiting for him here in this left cat stance, my right hand is here on top, already protecting my face. So he throws the punch, I can just slap the back of his hand and then my fingers just catch on his wrist. Remember that right hand movement was doing a pulling motion, so his energy's already coming that way. I'm just going to add a little power to it and throw him off balance. But then at the same time, I'm committing my weight forward and I'm shooting this left hand forward. This is going to cause the pressure of a head-on collision. He throws the punch, I'm waiting for him, I grab, I pull, and I smash that forearm into the ribs. Let's explore grass bird's tail right. First thing you're going to notice is that grass bird's tail right does look a little different than grass bird's tail left. We ended grass bird's tail left with the left foot forward, the left hand was out, and the right hand was down. My first transitions are going to get me to face towards the right, which is why the technique is called grass bird's tail right. So for my grass bird's tail left position, you're going to notice my left foot does a rock. And doing the marionette, my left hand is going to make a very similar rocking action. Once I've moved my weight back onto that left heel, the toes are going to turn to the right. You'll notice that's going to turn my entire body. My hand is then going to come right to the top of the circle. At the same time, my right leg and my right hand are going to draw into a right cat stance. And that right hand is going to come down to the bottom of the beach ball. So it's going from this position of the grass bird's tail left, turning my entire body to face towards the right, and coming into this similar ready position, this cat stance. From there, I'm going to pick up my right foot and I'm going to reach out with the heel. When the heel hits the ground, I'm going to transfer my weight to the toe, very similar to grass bird's tail left. But then here's where it changes. When I change my weight, my right hand is going to reach up, my left hand is going to come behind it like I'm trying to feel my pulse. You're going to notice it's not going straight to the side of me, it's not going right above my head, but instead, I'm reaching up towards the corner of the ceiling is the direction I'm looking at. Let's take a look at what that does. So in this case, he's now going to be punching at me with his left hand, and he's going to do one of these that you see in the westerns all the time, what's called a haymaker. He's just going to swing that arm and try to take my head off. So the grass bird's tail right, obviously if I try to block a punch like that with just one hand, my arm's not going to be strong enough. He's got way too much momentum. I've got to meet his force. So I'm already in this position where I'm in this cat stance. I'm waiting for him to move. As soon as I see that shoulder move, you'll notice how I blocked it with both hands. I'm trying to take this X of my left hand feeling my right pulse. I'm trying to get that to intersect right here at the arm. Now notice I'm not just stopping it to the side, but I'm lifting it up above my head. That way if the punch is coming in really hard, it's going to slip over the top. And again, it's going to open up all kinds of prime real estate that I can strike at. Let's explore the next movements, pull, press, and push. These are the three primary martial applications of Tai Chi. So we ended with our grass bird's tail right, where our right foot was forward, our right hand had pressed up, and our left hand supported that as though it was feeling our pulse. Most of my weight is right over here on my right leg. Once I've completed that block, I'm going to shift my weight back to the left leg. And you're going to notice my hands pull down next to the hip. You don't want to bend over. You want to keep your back straight and let your body weight create the motion. From there, the right hand is going to make a shield, level with my shoulders. The left hand is going to come up and support it, and then my body weight's going to shift over to the right leg. This creates a shield that's going to redirect his force. From the press forward, the hands are going to separate. They're going to come back here next to the shoulders. My body weight is going to sink back to my right leg. I'm going to sink low to the ground, getting underneath my opponent, and then I'm going to lift and push, pushing them away from the ground. Let's take a look at what that does. We had ended with that grass bird's tail right. He had threw this haymaker punch, and I blocked it and I pushed it over my head. From this position, my left hand is going to catch onto his wrist. My right hand is going to reach for his elbow. This is why we want to use our entire body weight. If he's stronger than me, my arms aren't going to be able to push what is called an arm bar. I want my whole body weight creating that motion. It's going to make him harder to resist. But when I get here, I don't want to have a tug-of-war with him. Remember, Tai Chi, we're not trying to fight strength for strength. We're trying to use our opponent's strength against him. Even if you notice from this position of that hook, I didn't stop it. I continued it over, and I just added to that momentum. Now that he's here, he's not going to like this pain on his elbow. He's going to want to pull his arm back. So instead of fighting strength for strength, I'm going to create my frame. I'm going to support that frame. I'm just going to change my body weight. This is going to stand him up a little bit. Notice I didn't send him flying off into the forest. But I did get him to stand up. And now that he's leaning backwards, look at what came out. Here's where the push comes in. I sit away. I'm going to get down below him. As I push, I want to lift away from the forest floor. And now notice I was able to push him back into the trees. let's explore single whip. This is the brain teaser part of the first section, and I always love the brain teasers. The challenges are a lot of fun. So with that, the two challenges, one movement is out of our outside circle exercises. You can refer to that one. It's cloud's hands. Practice that cloud's hands over and over. That's going to make the hand transitions easier. This is also the part of the form where we get to our first backward step. So if that seems a little bit funny to you, go to the walking exercises and practice the Tai Chi two-step. That's going to get you comfortable with making that transitionary step. So starting here, we're going to go from our push, which was over on the right-hand side. My hands were at the level of my shoulder, and most of my weight was over here on my right leg. So from this position is where we're going to start getting into our cloud's hands movement. So my right foot, the toe is going to pick up, shifting my weight backwards. At that same exact moment, my right hand is going to marionette and draw to the bottom of the beach ball. You'll notice from this position, the left hand doesn't have to do anything. It just turns flat and grabs the top of the beach ball. When I make that motion, that right foot is going to turn, which is going to turn my body to face towards the front. I complete a circle with my right hand going up, my left hand coming down, and I switch my weight back over to this right leg. From here, I'm going to show you what my right hand does. All the fingers are going to curl around the thumb. That makes a good striking surface, and it's what we call a crane's beak. That crane's beak is going to sit a little bit bent in this position. My left hand is going to come underneath that crane's beak to be able to feed seed to my poor little hungry crane. So going from the push, the weight rocks back, the body turns, the hands complete the circle, I feed the crane. Now you'll notice as my left hand comes under, my left foot's going to draw into my left cat stance. Here's our backward step. My left toes step back into the side, and from here I'm going to pivot on my feet to face all the way towards the left. This is my single whip. Let's take a look at what that does. So in this case, he's going to be using what in boxing is referred to commonly as a 1-2 punch, or a jab and a cross. Remember, we're not John Wayne. He throws the punch. I don't want to try to stop that punch, especially if he's bigger and stronger than me. That's not going to work. Might not even work if he's smaller than me. Instead, what I want to do is take his power and send it somewhere else. We're going to be using these blocks from Cloud's hands that was also in Karate Kid. Wax off. So he throws the first punch. I'm going to just take the punch. I'm going to push it to the side. Notice I'm making a waving motion like I'm trying to say, hi, why did you just try to punch me? He throws the second punch. Same thing. I'm going to block it. I'm going to push it off to the side. Now here's the important part about the second punch. This is his knockout punch. It's the one that has all the power. And because of that, it's going to be a little slower. I'm going to use that to my advantage. So he throws the first punch, which is quick. He throws the second punch. I'm going to block it, and then I'm going to catch it. I cut on the wrist. It works a lot like catching the handcuffs. Or if he's got a nice flowy shirt like this, I'm going to use my crane beak, and I'm going to catch a hold of his sleeve. And even from his sleeve, notice how much control I have over his balance right there. So now here is where I'm going to change his mind about wanting to hit me. He throws the first punch, I redirect it. He throws the second punch, I catch it. From this point, I'm going to step forward so I can get my body weight behind it. I'm going to open up my fingers, and I'm going to put that right across his stomach and his ribs. Now, I don't want to hit him and stop. I don't want to hit him and bounce off, but I want to strike all the way through, which is that position from single whip. Now, if he commits a lot of power to that punch, I can use that to my advantage and change it into a trip. So he throws the first punch, I block it. He throws the second punch, I block it and catch it. Look at how much distance he covered. He covered all that for me. Now as I do my step, you'll notice my knee comes behind his knee. My hand presses up. This is an arm bar. He's in a lot of pain, and I'm trying to make his body weight go up. You remember the arm bar from pull back. It's the same exact technique, but I'm using my shoulder instead of my elbow. Once I've got him lifted up, I'm just going to turn the direction of single whip, and you'll notice if I wasn't holding on to him, he'd end up down on the ground. Now that he's laying on his back, I can run away and it makes it harder for him to catch me. That wraps up the first section of the Tai Chi form.